Hey guys, I just want to expand on the video I put up yesterday about the fat loss supplements. The guy who sent me the message is using creatine monohydrate, and he's just wondering will it support him in his goals to lose body fat, increase lean muscle mass, and how he should take it or how he should load it, which is a common misconception with creatine and the different creatine products. So I'll expand on that now. Basically what creatine does is creatine allows your muscles to take in more water. So the more water that you have in your muscles, the more reps you can do in the gym. So for example, if you're doing a weight 10 kgs for 10 reps, if you've got creatine loaded into your muscle, you've got more water in there. So it allows you to push through those extra couple of reps that you wouldn't be able to do without it. So thereby that kind of transfers into you becoming stronger and more efficient and being able to do more in the gym because you can push out those extra reps because of the extra water that's in your muscle. In terms of safety, people have a misconception that creatine isn't a safe product. I've definitely read 100 articles on creatine, as I do with most supplements that I start. Before I take any supplement, before I put anything into my body, I research it and see what it does, the negatives, the positives, and then weigh it up, should I do it. There's been thousands of researches on creatine. Creatine comes from red meat. If you eat steak, you're going to get creatine. What they've done is they've chemically taken out the creatine out of the red meat, chemically processed it, and sell it as supplement form. So I've never read anything that has any issues in the safe amounts. If you go crazy with it and do stupid doses, I'm sure there's studies that prove that it's going to be toxic to your kidneys or whatever it is. But in the normal range, with the benefit, the amount you need to get a benefit, I've never seen anything that has any health issues with it. In terms of your goals in losing body fat and increasing lean mass, what I do with creatine is I use creatine most of the year, and I only cut it out when I'm a couple of days before a show or before a shoot. And the reason for this is when you're cutting water for a show or a shoot, you want to get that water out of your system, and creatine helps to pull water into your system. So that's the only reason that I take it out. All the way leading up to a show, I keep it in because it keeps my strength up. I find when I come off creatine that my strength drops. It goes down. Not a huge amount, but enough that I know that I'm dropping whatever weight I would do for 10 reps. I've got to drop it by a few kg because I just can't get those extra reps because I don't have that water swollen into my muscle. In terms of how to take it, monohydrate and loading, what you need to do is, creatine is one of these, one of them supplements that you need to get all of it into your muscle, and then you just literally maintain it. So the reason you load it is your muscle can hold so much creatine. And then once it's kind of got to its point that it can't hold anymore, you literally just maintain that. So that's why you load it. So at the beginning, you take 20 grams a day. So you'll take 5 grams in the morning, 5 grams pre and post workout, and then 5 grams again in the evening. And you'll do this for 4 or 5 days. What that does is it saturates your muscle with creatine. After you've saturated the muscle with creatine, you just maintain it. So you can do 5 grams per day or 10 grams per day pre and post workout is normally what I do. And there's no benefit to doing more than 20 grams after 4 or 5 days because the excess amount is only going to get excreted through your kidneys, so you don't need it. It's just to get, once it's been your muscle's been saturated, you can't further saturate it. In terms of an insulin spike, you need an insulin spike for creatine monohydrate to be absorbed. It's one of those supplements that I have mixed feelings about. Personally, I use creatine monohydrate post-workout. I put it in with my glucose or dextrose in my shake post-workout because it needs that sugar to get absorbed fully into the muscle. Creatine I quite like is creatine ethyl ester. It's basically creatine monohydrate, but it's got an ethyl ester attached to it, which helps your body absorb it better without the insulin, without the sugar. So I'll take 5 grams of that pre-workout. I'll take 5 grams of creatine monohydrate post-workout. But there's loads of creatine on the market now. Concrete is the new one, or creatine hydrochloride. And all these creatines don't need a large amount of insulin or a large sugar spike to get absorbed into the muscle. It's really down to personal preference. They're a lot more expensive. Creatine monohydrate is one of the cheapest supplements on the market, which is why it's so popular, because it's cheap, it's effective, and it works. So I hope that answers your question, buddy. I've talked about I use it regardless of whether I'm cutting or bulking. It will support you in lean muscle gains. It'll support you in fat loss because you're going to be getting stronger. You'll hold a little bit more water in your muscles, but it's not going to be extreme to the point that you need to cut creatine in a cut. And I've talked about how to load it and the different types of creatine supplements that I personally like. But if you have any more questions on that, buddy, I hope that helps. But just leave comments down below and like and share it if you think that it's going to support other people.